welcome to another video. Today we are going to do something a little bit difficult. I'm going to be making a hand-tied bridal bouquet. We're going to be using pale blush white and champagne roses with some white accent flowers. Okay, let's get started. When I construct a bridal bouquet, I usually start with a base of hydrangeas. Hydrangeas are pretty neutral and versatile. Not a lot of it is really going to show. These white hydrangeas that are imported are wonderful because they last a long time and they give you sort of the almost the mechanics of your bouquet, because we're going to be making everything in our hand, so it's not like arranging in a vase. It gives you a little bit of structure. You'll see how we're going to do it. So I have the 3 hydrangeas placed sort of clustered together in the middle. I'm going to start adding roses. Here's a beautiful garden rose called Pure Perfume. This is from Jackson Perkins, and it's heavily scented and it's very long lasting, and it's very, very beautiful pure white rose. I'm going to add that in the middle, even a little bit of that beautiful glossy green foliage I kept so that you have a little contrast there. Right next to it, I'm going to just add a bud of the same rose. I love how the garden roses, you can place blooms in here in various stages of bloom so that it looks like you picked it from the garden. It's very natural. Then I'm going to add in a pale blush garden rose from David Austin, an English rose called Shropshire Lad. This rose, you see, has a nodding habit, so the hydrangeas will help you keep that rose upright. And that's why we have the hydrangeas. It kind of just, keeps it in place so that it's not folding over. I'm going to add another one of the Shropshire Lad here while we have the hydrangeas in place to kind of hold it in. So you're already getting kind of the look of a bouquet. You put another one here. Let that hydrangea hold it in place. Now the Pure Perfume is nice upright rose with good stems, so you can place that next to the Shropshire Lad to kind of hold it so it doesn't flop over so much. Now I'm going to add another beautiful champagne color rose called Teasing Georgia. This is another English rose from David Austin. Sort of an antique champagne color. Here, I'm going to turn it. Add another Shropshire Lad. A semi-open cluster of sprig, of Teasing Georgia. Then I'm going to take a look, see if I have sort of like the center, main part of the bouquet pretty much done. I'm going to add this last white rose in. I'm going to add it in the middle. And then one more. So the florally part of the bouquet is mostly done. Then I'm going to add in some of the accent flowers. I'm going to reserve some of the large roses to add in later if we need it. Look at these beautiful sprigs of dogwood. This is a dogwood, Korean dogwood. This is dogwood kusa. Added the perimeter right there. It functions as an accent flower as well as a greenery. It's very unusual. It's a long-lasting flower. Unlike the other kinds of dogwood, this is a very long-lasting cut flower. So we can add this into the bouquet. Do a third cluster right here. And sometimes I'll pull the florets in a little bit so that you have some in the center of the bouquet. And then I'm going to add in some greenery around the perimeters. This is a beautiful miniature eucalyptus. See, now the bouquet has a little bit more movement. And I'm not trying to make a perfect circle, but I also don't want it to be a lopsided bouquet. So you want it to be somewhat symmetrical, but not like a perfect circle. I reserved a couple of pieces of the eucalyptus to add into the center of the bouquet so that you have the repetition of that grayish green in the middle, just a little bit, just a little sprig right there. I'll add some in here. So most of the bouquet is already done. Now I'm going to add in some white stock. White stock and stock of all colors have been very wonderful to use in weddings. They're a relatively inexpensive flower, available almost year-round. This is the white stock. It comes in pale pink, peachy pink, medium pink, lavender, purple, pale yellow. So pretty much, you know, you can use it in a lot of different color palettes for different kind of weddings. I add the stock in because I like to have a little bit of white on the perimeters. Makes the bouquet look larger without adding more bulkiness, if that makes sense. So you have a more dramatic looking bouquet without adding, you know, just tons and tons of roses, and that makes it a little bit stiff looking. So I'm adding to the perimeter all the stock. And then I like this beautiful white Veronica. Now these have been very popular bouquets. Weddings have evolved in the 30 years I've been doing weddings from, you know, nobody ever wanted to see any greenery in their bouquets till now the brides want bouquets that have a lot of movement, a botanical quality to them, a more natural quality to them. So I'm adding the Veronica to give it a little bit of movement. And the spikiness is a nice contrast to all the round flowers we have in here. Don't want to overdo the Veronica. Sometimes I want to make sure I'm not just doing it in all around so that you have like a, I don't know, too spiky a looking bouquet. I think we're mostly done with this bouquet. What I like to do instead of wire is use floral tape. Floral tape comes in different widths. This is a wider width, and there's one that's half this width for corsages and boutonnieres. It's a very durable kind of paper that's been waxed, and the wonderful thing is it sticks to itself. So most people will, you know, wire this bouquet off, but I like to use floral tape. I just got used to using it, so I'm just going to keep using it. So I'm going to tie it off with floral tape. Because it sticks to itself, it's very easy to use. Just winding it around and around. I find that when I use wire, the bouquet tends to slip, like elements within the bouquet will kind of fall to places where you don't want it to. The tape is much better. Easier on the hands too. Okay. And then you have a nice size stem, and you just cut the stem to the bottom. Now you can leave some natural stems showing. This I'm going to wrap all the way down, the handle all the way down for a more finished look. So this is about a good length for a bouquet handle. You want your hand to fit around it comfortably and still have some showing. Not too long, not too short. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to cover the tape with ribbon. I have here a pretty ivory colored ribbon, and this is sort of like wrapping a tennis racket handle. So what I do is I do two passes, one up and one down. So I'm going to start from the top. I'm going to hold it with my finger here and then just wrap it tightly down, kind of spiral it down. And you're covering the handle with the satin ribbon. Go all the way down, and then I'm going to go back up so that you have two layers of ribbon. And I'll cover any of that green tape that shows through. And then when you're done, you cut it off. And then what I do is I will fold it under, the ribbon under, so no raw edges are showing. And then these are really short pearl pins that we're going to use to secure the ribbon in place. And we're just going to do equal distance down the length of the bouquet so that you have these little pearl buttons going down the handle of the bouquet. So it's very pretty, and it will ensure that that ribbon is not going to come unraveled during the ceremony, during photos, the entire night. And that's done right here. You can see the buttons. And here is our hand-tied bridal bouquet featuring David Austin roses and other garden roses.